I never want to hold back there. In order to really give your heart and soul to the music.
Avi Kaplan had one of the most recognizable voices in modern music. As the bass vocalist for Pentatonix, he provided the low-end rumble that made the group's sound so distinctive. Millions of fans watched his videos, bought his albums, and cheered for him on tour. Then, at the height of the group's success, he walked away. The official announcement was polite and professional. However, the real story, which he kept hidden for years, was much darker. Now, we finally understand the heartbreaking reason why Avi Kaplan left Pentatonix. The rise of Avi Kaplan. Avril Benjamin Kaplan was born on April 17, 1989, in Visalia, California, a small city in the agricultural heart of the Central Valley. His parents, Michael and Shelley Kaplan, raised him alongside an older brother named Joshua and an older sister named Esther. The family was close-knit, and both of his older siblings would later help manage the early stages of his musical career. But the most important influence on young Avi was not his family. It was the land around him. He grew up near Sequoia National Park, a vast wilderness of giant trees and quiet forests. The sequoias are among the largest living things on Earth, some of them thousands of years old. Their trunks are so wide that a car can drive through them. Avi spent hours hiking among those trees, breathing the clean air and feeling small in the best possible way. The wilderness became his sanctuary, a place where he could escape the noise of the world and just be alone with his thoughts. That connection to nature would stay with him for the rest of his life. Before we continue, I want to share something that I think is genuinely important for anyone watching this. Researchers at the University of Rochester published a discovery about the human brain that most doctors still haven't told their patients about. They found that the brain has its own dedicated cleaning system, and that most memory loss happens when that system gets blocked, not because of aging. If you're over 50, you need to see this. Go to brainresearchreport.com or just click the link in the description below. Don't skip past it. Now let's get back to the video. School was not kind to Avi. He faced severe anti-Semitic bullying during his formative years in the Central Valley. Other kids targeted him because he was Jewish, because he was different, and because he did not fit in with the dominant culture of the region. The social isolation was painful, and there were days when he did not want to go to school at all. But he discovered that music could be a shield. He joined local school choirs and found that when he was singing, the bullies did not matter. When he was singing, he was not the weird kid. He was the kid with the incredible voice. His voice was rare. Avi discovered that he had a natural ability to hit low bass registers, notes so deep that most men cannot reach them. His vocal cords were built differently. He could sing notes that felt more like vibrations than sounds, notes that rumbled through a room and made people's chests hum. He did not know it yet, but that rare ability would one day make him famous. After high school, Avi moved to Los Angeles County in 2007 to attend Mount San Antonio College in Walnut, California. The school was known for its elite vocal jazz programs, and Avi wanted to study with the best teachers. He joined the college's all-male a cappella group, Fermata Nowhere, which was directed by a man named Bruce Rogers. Under Rogers' guidance, Avi pushed the boundaries of what a collegiate vocal bass could do. In 2009, Fermata Nowhere traveled to New York City to compete in the International Championship of Collegiate A Cappella Finals at Lincoln Center. Avi anchored the group with his bass vocals, and they won first place. The victory was historic, but the real honor came from the judges. At that year's tournament, the judges eliminated the standard vocal percussion award category and officially renamed it Best Rhythm Section. They did this specifically to honor Avi Kaplan's revolutionary vocal bass performance. While performing with Fermata Nowhere, Avi also sang in another group called Syncopation, Mount San Antonio College's award-winning vocal jazz ensemble. The group won the prestigious Downbeat Student Music Award, one of the highest honors in collegiate jazz. Avi was pulling double duty, rehearsing with both groups and somehow finding time to sleep between classes. But Avi was not content to just sing the notes that were written for him. He wanted to push his voice further. He studied Tuvan throat singing, a traditional form of singing from Central Asia, where the performer produces two notes at the same time, a low drone and a higher melody. He taught himself polyphonic overtone techniques, mastering the ability to sing two distinct pitches simultaneously. The skill was rare, almost impossible for most singers to learn. But Avi made it look easy. In 2011, 3 high school friends from Arlington, Texas, decided to audition for Season 3 of NBC's reality competition show, The Sing-Off. Scott Hoying, Mitch Grassi, and Kirsten Maldonado had been singing together for years, and they believed they had what it took to win. But there was a problem. The show's production guidelines required a minimum of 5 performers to qualify for the competition. The Texas trio needed a bass singer and a vocal percussionist. An acclaimed vocal arranger and producer named Ben Bram had been watching the collegiate a cappella scene in Southern California. He had heard about Avi Kaplan, the bass singer who had made the judges rename an award category. Bram recommended Avi to Hoying. A phone call was arranged. Hoying explained the situation, and Avi agreed to join based purely on the musical chemistry he heard in the early reference tracks that were sent to him. He had never met these people. He had never sung with them, but he trusted his ears. The final piece of the puzzle was Kevin Olasola, a Yale-educated musician who had invented a style called cello boxing, playing the cello and beatboxing at the same time. The group found him through a viral YouTube video. Olasola agreed to join, and the 5 musicians met face-to-face for the very first time in a Los Angeles hotel room. They had exactly 24 hours to prepare before their official network television audition for NBC executives. They won Season 3 of The Sing-Off on November 28, 2011. The prize was $200,000 and a recording contract with Epic Records. The group was dropped by Epic shortly after the show because executives did not believe that an all-a cappella pop group could be commercially viable. Pentatonix ignored the skeptics, partnered with a smaller label, and launched their own YouTube channel. The channel would eventually climb to over 13 million subscribers during Avi's time with the group. In 2013, they recorded a medley of Daft Punk songs that garnered over 100 million views within a year. The video defined the group's signature digital identity and earned them their first Grammy Award in 2015 for Best Arrangement, Instrumental, or A Cappella. They won a second Grammy in 2016 for their arrangement of Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairy, and a third in 2017 for their collaboration with Dolly Parton on Jolene. Their album, That's Christmas to Me, was certified multi-platinum, selling over 2 million copies in the United States alone. The group was on top of the world, but behind the success, Avi Kaplan was struggling. The hidden friction behind the fame. The group's financial engine relied on maintaining a relentless digital presence. In the world of YouTube, where Pentatonix had built its audience, content was king. If you stopped posting, the algorithm stopped recommending you. If the algorithm stopped recommending you, the views dropped. If the views dropped, the revenue disappeared. This meant that the group was trapped in a non-stop cycle of video production, audio editing, and social media content creation. There were no real breaks. Even when they were not touring, they were in the studio. Even when they were not in the studio, they were filming promotional content. The machine never stopped, and Avi was exhausted. The holiday albums were the group's biggest commercial drivers, which meant that the most profitable time of the year was also the most exhausting. They recorded festive music during the peak of summer, singing about snow and sleigh bells while sweat dripped down their faces in air-conditioned studios. Then they toured incessantly every November and December, performing the same Christmas songs night after night in city after city. There was no time for family, no time for rest, no time to just be a person instead of a performer. Musically, Kaplan was rooted in traditional Americana, folk, and classical choral structures. The music that made him feel alive was the music of the Sierra Nevada, the folk songs of the Appalachian Mountains, the gospel harmonies of old churches. But Pentatonix's creative direction was shifting. The group moved heavily toward hyper-polished electronic pop synth emulations. The raw, organic sound that Avi loved was being replaced by something slicker and more commercial. He did not hate the new music, but he did not love it either. And spending every day making music that did not feed his soul was taking a toll. Kaplan preferred organic, unedited room acoustics. He wanted to sing into a microphone and have that recording be the final product, with all of its imperfections and humanity intact. But the realities of modern pop production required something different. To make an a cappella group compete on top 40 radio, the vocals had to be heavily compressed, pitch corrected, and digitally edited. Every breath was adjusted, every note was tuned. The final product was polished to a mirror shine, but it did not sound like people singing in a room anymore. It sounded like a machine, and Avi was one of the parts. The physical toll of singing bass for a world touring group was brutal in ways that most fans would never understand. Unlike higher registers, which can utilize lighter vocal mechanisms like head voice, producing sub-bass frequencies requires constant, forceful subglottic pressure against the vocal cords. Every low note that Avi sang was a controlled explosion inside his throat. Doing that for 2 hours a night, 6 nights a week, was not sustainable. As the sole bass of the group, Kaplan had no backup, no understudy, and no double casting options. If his voice failed, an entire live arena show had to be canceled. Thousands of fans would be sent home. Millions of dollars would be lost. The pressure to keep singing, no matter how much pain he was in, was immense. He was forced to perform through bouts of acute laryngitis and physical fatigue, using advanced vocal techniques to protect his throat from permanent damage. He knew that one bad performance could end his career, and that knowledge followed him onto every stage. Spending up to 2 hours per night vibrating his vocal folds at extremely low frequencies caused systemic physical exhaustion. The low notes did not just come from his throat, they resonated through his entire body. His chest and skull vibrated. The muscles in his neck and jaw remained locked in a constant state of tension to support the pressure required to hit those notes. After a full tour, he felt like he had been in a car accident. His body was tired, his voice was tired, and his mind was tired. Following the grueling promotional tour for a Pentatonix Christmas in late 2016, Kaplan privately informed group management that his physical and mental health could no longer sustain the pace. He did not make demands. He did not issue ultimatums. He simply told them the truth. He could not keep going like this. Something had to change. A mutual agreement was reached. Kaplan's impending exit would be kept completely hidden from the public and media for 5 months. The group needed time to find a replacement. They needed time to reorganize their touring schedule. They needed time to prepare their fans for the news. Avi agreed to keep performing, to keep smiling for the cameras, and to keep pretending that everything was fine. For 5 months, he lived a lie. Behind the scenes, management hired a vocal coordinator and casting director named Tim Davis to discreetly launch a highly confidential talent search for a replacement bass vocalist. Davis auditioned roughly 50 world-class bass vocalists in Los Angeles. The candidates were brought in under strict non-disclosure agreements. They were not told that they were auditioning for Pentatonix until the final rounds of the process. The secrecy was necessary. If news of the search leaked before Kaplan was ready to announce his departure, the story would become a media circus. Throughout the spring of 2017, Kaplan continued to tour and make public appearances with the group. He posted on social media. He signed autographs. He posed for photographs. Millions of fans had no idea that he was counting down the days until he could walk away. The hidden friction behind the fame had become unbearable. But the mental health struggles that were driving him out of Pentatonix were even darker than the physical exhaustion. Avi Kaplan's mental health struggles. While still in the band, Kaplan was forced to miss the births of close family members. He missed weddings. He missed funerals. He was on a stage in another city while his loved ones were experiencing the most important moments of their lives without him. The guilt was severe. He felt like he was failing the people he loved most, and there was nothing he could do about it because the tour could not stop for one person's family obligations. The strict city-to-city, venue-to-hotel tour itineraries entirely cut off Kaplan's primary emotional coping mechanism. He needed to be in nature. He needed to feel the sun on his face and the dirt under his boots. He needed to stand among the giant sequoias that had grounded him since childhood. But the tour bus did not stop at national parks. The venues were in cities, surrounded by concrete and traffic and crowds. He was trapped in an endless loop of airports and auditoriums, and he could not find a way to breathe. He developed a persistent sense of dread surrounding the high-pressure demands of live television, red carpets, and the superficial expectations of pop celebrity culture. The red carpets were the worst. He had to smile for cameras, answer the same questions over and over, and pretend that he was having a good time. Inside, he was screaming. The anxiety was constant, a low hum of fear that never went away. He worried that he would forget his lyrics on stage. He worried that his voice would crack. He worried that the fans would stop coming. He worried that he was not good enough. The record executives and booking agents viewed his potential departure as a direct threat to a multi-million-dollar global brand. They did not care about his mental health. They cared about the bottom line. The pressure to stay, to keep performing, and to keep generating revenue was immense. Kaplan felt like he was being crushed between his own need for peace and the industry's need for profit. He could not satisfy both, and the attempt to do so was destroying him. Following his eventual exit announcement, a viral internet rumor claimed that Kaplan had left the group because he had eloped and was starting a family in secret. The rumor spread quickly across social media, and many fans accepted it as fact. The story was compelling. A man walks away from fame to be with the woman he loves. It was romantic, and people wanted to believe it. The rumor was fueled by leaked personal photographs showing Kaplan in a formal suit, standing alongside a woman wearing a white bridal dress. The images looked like wedding photos. The woman was beautiful. Kaplan was smiling. The internet did the rest of the work, filling in the details that the photographs did not provide. Investigative fans eventually verified the truth. The photos were taken at the private wedding of his sister, Esther Kaplan, who now goes by Esther Koop. Avi was not the groom. He was simply walking his sister down the aisle. There was no secret marriage. There was no hidden wife. There was only a brother who loved his sister and wanted to be part of her special day. The rumor was false, but it had already done its damage. Online forums also falsely circulated claims that Kaplan was suffering from a terminal illness or permanent vocal paralysis. The rumors were specific and detailed, which made them seem credible to casual readers. Kaplan's inner circle was forced to issue private denials to close associates, assuring them that he was not dying and that his voice was intact. The rumors were not just annoying, they were hurtful. His family read them. His friends read them. He had to comfort people who were worried that he was about to die, all because some anonymous person on the internet had made up a story for attention. Leaving the group required a complex legal separation from Pentatonix, the corporate entity owned equally by the 5 founding members. The lawyers were expensive. The negotiations were tense. Kaplan had to fight for his share of the business that he had helped build, and the process was draining. The legal separation agreements mandated that the group could no longer use Kaplan's image, name, or likeness to promote future albums, merchandise, or upcoming tour cycles. This meant that the Pentatonix brand had to scrub itself of any reference to its former bass singer. Posters had to be redesigned. Merchandise had to be reprinted. The corporate divorce was clean, but it was not friendly. Kaplan retained his legal songwriting and performance royalties for all audio tracks recorded between 2011 and September 2017. This ensured that he would have some financial independence after his exit. He would not be left broke or destitute. But the money did not make up for the years of stress and anxiety. Following his departure, subtle changes to the official Pentatonix social media banners and website bios systematically removed Kaplan. His face disappeared from the header images. His name disappeared from the band's official biography. The message was clear. Pentatonix was moving on without him, and the past was being erased. The quiet social media cleanse was a business decision, but it felt personal to the fans who had loved the original lineup. Kaplan had made his decision. He was leaving Pentatonix, but the way he announced his departure would surprise everyone. The heartbreaking departure of Avi Kaplan. On May 12, 2017, a 6-minute video was uploaded directly to the Pentatonix Facebook page. There was no prior warning, no media teaser or press release hinting that something was coming. The video simply appeared, and fans clicked on it, not knowing that they were about to watch the end of an era. The visual setup was simple but emotional. The video featured all 5 members sitting closely together. Scott Hoying and Mitch Grassi were visibly weeping while holding Kaplan's hands. Kirsten Maldonado looked down at the floor. Kevin Olusola sat quietly. Kaplan spoke directly to the camera, his voice steady but heavy. In his speech, Kaplan explained that the fast-paced nature of the group was a pace that was really hard for him to keep up with. He did not blame the other members. He did not attack the management. He simply stated his truth. The touring, the recording, and the constant content creation. It was all moving too fast for him to stay healthy. He explained his artistic integrity crisis directly to the camera, saying that he could not expect the group to slow down for him and that he did not want to do this with only half of his heart. The video caused a massive wave of shock across the music industry. The group had seemed untouchable. They were winning Grammys, selling out arenas, and breaking records. No one expected one of the members to step away at the peak of their success. The video accumulated millions of views within hours, and the flood of traffic temporarily crashed the band's official fan forums. Fans posted messages of support, messages of anger, and messages of confusion. No one knew how to process the news. Despite the emotional announcement, Kaplan didn't quit the group on the spot. He had a legal commitment to complete all remaining dates on the scheduled 2017 Pentatonix World Tour. The show had to go on, and Kaplan was a professional. He spent June through August of 2017 touring outdoor amphitheaters and European festivals with the group, delivering high-energy bass lines night after night despite his public exit countdown. The fans who came to those shows knew that they were watching one of the last performances of the original lineup. The energy in the venues was different. There was a sadness in the air that had not been there before. His final official performance as a member of Pentatonix occurred on September 3, 2017, at the Champlain Valley Exposition in Essex Junction, Vermont. It was not a glamorous venue or a sold-out arena. It was a fairground in a small New England town. But Kaplan did not complain. He sang his heart out. He hit every low note. He smiled for the fans who had come to see him one last time. At the conclusion of the Vermont show, the band embraced on stage for a final time. The hug lasted longer than usual. No one wanted to let go. When they finally pulled apart, the original 5-member era of Pentatonix was over. On October 13, 2017, Pentatonix officially announced that a Berklee College of Music graduate named Matt Sally would be their new bass vocalist. The announcement was accompanied by a professionally shot video introducing Sally to the fans. The new member had a warm smile and a strong voice. He was talented. He was ready. But he was not Avi Kaplan, and the fans who had loved the original lineup felt the difference immediately. The group moved on. The holiday albums continued to sell. The tours continued to sell out. The YouTube channel continued to grow. Kaplan had made his choice, and Pentatonix had made theirs. The show had to go on, with or without him, but Kaplan's exit was not the end of his story. The years that followed would bring new challenges, new music, and a new understanding of what he had sacrificed to leave the group that made him famous. The post-exit fallout, transitioning from fame to complete isolation in a rural Tennessee home, triggered a profound psychological adjustment period for Avi Kaplan. For years, Kaplan had been surrounded by crowds, crew members, and bandmates. Suddenly, he was alone with his thoughts in a quiet house, and the silence was deafening. He entered a severe bout of clinical depression, struggling with a sudden loss of identity. He had been the bass voice of Pentatonix for 6 years. Without that role, who was he? The question haunted him. Leaving a multi-platinum group meant giving up guaranteed arena income to fund his own indie solo project, completely out of pocket. There were no record advances, no corporate safety nets. If his solo music failed, he had no backup plan. The financial risk was real, and it added another layer of stress to an already difficult transition. Kaplan launched a solo folk side project under the pseudonym Avriel and the Sequoias. He chose the name deliberately to distance himself from the polished pop image of Pentatonix. The Sequoias were a reference to the giant trees of his childhood, the wilderness that had always grounded him. He released his debut indie folk EP, Sage and Stone, on June 9, 2017, while still technically finishing his touring obligations with Pentatonix. The EP discarded all vocal-only rules. It featured acoustic guitars, real violins, upright basses, and raw, single-take vocal tracking. He shot the music video for his debut solo track, Fields and Pier, deep within the California woods, visually highlighting his return to nature. In 2019, Kaplan officially retired the Sequoia pseudonym. He realized that he needed to stand fully behind his legal name to truly heal. Hiding behind a mask was not progress. It was just a different kind of hiding. He signed a major solo recording contract with Fantasy Records, a prestigious roots and Americana label under the Concord Music Group umbrella. In 2020, he released the EP I'll Get By, featuring songs that directly addressed his mental health recovery, the emotional scars he carried, and his journey through depression. The songs were honest and painful, and fans who had followed him from Pentatonix heard a different artist than the one they had known. He recruited Grammy Award-winning producer Shooter Jennings, known for his work with Brandi Carlile and Tanya Tucker, to produce his first full-length solo album. On May 20, 2022, Kaplan released his landmark debut full-length studio album, Floating on a Dream, a deep cinematic southwestern folk rock record that showcased his voice in an entirely new context. He designed his first solo tours to be deliberately short, kicking off with a modest 11-date run in select intimate venues across the United States. He mandated a strict logistical rule that required multiple rest days between live dates to allow for mental decompression and nature exploration. He swapped 20,000-seat sports arenas for 500-seat historic theaters, performing without the high-pressure pop production that had originally triggered his anxiety. Avi Kaplan left Pentatonix because the machine was killing him. He walked away from fame, fortune, and millions of fans to save his own life. The decision was not easy. The years that followed were not easy. But he is still here, still making music and still singing. That is the only victory that matters. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to click on the next video on your screen. Like and subscribe to our channel for more updates.